Oh, I almost did it again. I almost started a video off without hitting the record button and making sure it was going. I did that a couple of videos ago and had a real hoot when I had to remake the video. Anyway, it is recording now. Um, wow. This is just wonderful, wonderful energies coming in right now. It's a little bit of everything and a whole bunch of nothing. We got a coronal hole stream that's sending some cosmic ray density towards us and had a little gamma ray burst last night. And all of it's just little bits and pieces, but it sure does feel good. It really does. We had some good rains here in Florida yesterday evening, and it feels kind of cool this morning, but a little bit humid too. So anyway, I'm kicked back behind the sun for a little bit, but probably won't last long since it's coming over the tree right now. Oh man. Well, I had a nudging to do a little bit a video today about living your dreams and doing what you feel you want to do, about living in bliss and joy and happiness and really striving for that, because the illusion, the system that's out there, is trying to keep us from that, to keep us in control and check. And it's that bliss and that love and that power and that gratitude for life and that connection to Mother Earth that comes with that bliss, and that love for humanity and love for each other and love for life that really creates the magic that you experience in the illusion while you live your life. And this morning I found out from my old interpreter and my office manager from China back in the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s, that my partner that put me in China had passed away. He and I hadn't spoken in several years because he was on kind of the opposite side of the coin and seeing the glass as half empty. And anyway, it just drove him into bad health and misery, and always upset, thinking the government's coming down and gonna take over and enslave us all and kill us. And he stayed in that mindset, that brain set, that it's all dark and gloomy, to actually manifest that and live that within his life. And he was only 57 years old as he passed, and passed because of heart attacks, because of the stresses that he was creating by his own being focused in his head and his brain and not living spiritually from the heart. And now there's no death, but we each have whatever time we're allotted here on earth, and some of us have a lot of time and we're expanding that greatly, and then some of us have a very short time. And right now at just less than 51 years old, I'm just a couple of years less, and I'm talking 2 to 3 years less than my father was when he crossed over and passed. And always throughout my life, when I would ask my father to have some time and let's go take a trip, or let's go camping, or let's do some things, or spend some money that he was always saving up, he always put it off to that time when he would retire. And at that point, he could take time to go live his life. And so when his girlfriend that was helping him run his business, and was his other half and one that he really depended on, when she had an aneurysm and he finally had to close his business, he was forcefully retired, and within just a couple of months he had heart attacks too, and he was gone. And all that he waited for all his life to to wait for that time where he could really live his life, it got spent working in the illusion, working to pay the controllers, working to pay the IRS, or, the insurance, to have all the material stuff and to get it paid off. And then when he finally was forced to change, then that was the end of life. That was the end of his time here on planet. And I watch so many people do this. And the other day I spoke to my mother for the first time in many months on Mother's Day to wish her a happy Mother's Day. And she said, Bill, you need to really go to your farm and start doing all those things that you do for everybody else. You need to do it in your own place. You're not growing any younger. I said, yes, I am. Because that is my focus. And it's so funny to watch as people want to focus on this little bit of time that they have in their life to get all this stuff together so we can have good in a good time in this little short time at the end of our life. And they're not really living their life. They lock themselves into the matrix. They lock themselves into whatever mental construct, mental reality that they believe is true for themselves. And by their thoughts and emotions creating their reality, many of these persons feel that they're not going to have enough. They're going to have lack of abundance in that little space of time that they get to retire. And they're feeding this whole thing about death. And they're living their life focused upon death, when there truly is no death. The experience that we have, the great gift that's offered to us, is to walk here in human physical form on earth and to retrieve who we are, to ascend in consciousness, to realize that we're great spiritual beings having a physical incarnation and not, there the air conditioner goes off. Right at that instant I say something a little bit profound. We're great spiritual beings having a physical incarnation rather than being physical beings trying to figure out our spirituality. As we ascend and we go through this process of remembering who we are and what we're doing here, and merging heaven's forces, the spiritual forces, through our heart into Mother Earth, into this physical incarnation, bringing the yin and yang together, everything totally changes if you truly get the concepts of what's going on. And when you realize that your thought and your emotions and that which you spend the time to focus upon and put your intent towards creates the reality that you experience. Now, there's many of us like me that was doing this all my life and wondering if it was really true. And then later we find out it is true. And as we begin our remembering and awakening process, we find more and more other people that have these same concepts and understandings. And we start merging together by law of attraction. And it seems that persons that hold that 3D mindset, like I was discussing before in this video, they seem to group together. And we're all going towards that spiritual end that so many of us are ascending into now. And what we do with our life, what we do with this wonderful gift that we're being given called life, and the experiences that we have here, is all up to each one of us as individuals. And when you start waking up to that, then you really want to start changing the world. And the way to change the world is by changing ourselves, by changing our perceptions, our limitations, by releasing the old negativities, those things that held us back, those things that were our fears, those things that were our limited beliefs that kept us in check, those things that the Illuminati and the system, the Matrix, has tried to do to us for so long so that we could be controlled. And many of us are just busted right through those barriers and are unable to be controlled now. And today I did a post which was really interesting, had to do with OPPT and this guy that owed back taxes to the Internal Revenue Service, or the IRS. And he had sent the IRS a courtesy notice saying they'd been foreclosed upon, and they sent him back a letter saying that he didn't have to pay his taxes, which is voluntary compulsory anyway, which is really voluntary. It's not compulsory, but you could have some issues if as long as those guys have power. And sooner or later, we're going to get enough people awakened to what's going on to where they just fold up, where they haven't got anything to fund their bullying techniques and illegal activities. And so anyway, it's just such a hoot to witness all that's going on, and to know that every single thing that we experience in our life has to do with our thoughts and our perceptions and those emotions that we entertain. That truly creates our reality. And be so very careful at what you believe and what you believe is true and what you believe that you can't do, your limitations, because it's those limitations that keeps you in check. And anyway, I've tried to make this vid a couple of times today and had some friends Skype me in right in the middle of the video, and I had to start over again. And I see some friends coming online that might do the same thing. And so anyway, I just want to leave it at that today and say, people, the time that many of us have on this earth, because of our perceptions, because of that which we think is a short time, which really is a short time when you consider what your eternal self is all about. There's no time to fuss and to fight and to get worried and to have the fear and all the chaos. Come out from the illusion and realize it's our joy and our bliss and our freedom that makes life worth living. And anyway, such a wonderful time to be here and watch all this unfold and occur. And it's getting hot. I'm getting sweaty. I got a transaxle and a rear end of a John Deere I got to break down and repair today. And so I got all nice and cleaned up so I can go get greasy. I can handle being greasy as long as I can get clean before and after. Anyway, love y'all. Bye for now.